Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name's Jordy, and this is Sandy. We're going to talk about the new moon in Cancer, which is happening on July 14th. And there's a couple different themes coming up with this new moon in Cancer about family and home, as well as our emotions and how we're feeling, and a couple other themes which we're going to talk about in this video. So we're going to look at the astrology. Sandy is our expert astrologist here today. And we're also going to look at some tarot cards that clarify what we're looking at. And we'll go from there. So Sandy, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Jordy. How are you?
Good, yeah.
Jordy and I have recognized that this new moon in Cancer and Cancer energy is really hitting us hard. Some of the things associated with this new moon have to do with our family, our parents. The moon is associated with the mother when we look at our chart, and it is our emotions. The moon represents our emotions and our subconscious self.
And it's happening during a Mercury retrograde.
Yeah. So with the Mercury retrograde, and it is in Cancer, so we need to keep our emotions in check right now and be careful that we're not being led by our emotions. Also make sure that we're trusting our intuition. We need to really pay attention that we're listening to our intuition and not our emotions. So I'm going to bring up the chart because I noticed something interesting happening today. There's actually a yod with this new moon. So we can use this energy in our intentions. If you remember, new moons are for intentions, they're for bringing in abundance. And so the intentions that are really good to use with the Cancer energy have to do with our family, our home, our creative side, um, our intuition. And with this yod, a yod is when we have three planets at play. The moon's not actually a part of this. The moon is over here in Cazimi with Mercury retrograde. So what that means is the sun is within a couple degrees of Mercury. And so that intensifies that energy. So all these things we've been experiencing in Mercury retrograde in the sign of Cancer are going to be even stronger from about around the 12th to the 14th ish. So if there's anything that is being brought up by this Cazimi or Mercury in retrograde over the last couple weeks, we can set intentions towards that to improve that which would be associated with communication, particularly with family members. And it could also be about setting boundaries and making sure that you are finding time to do things on your own, spending time at home. And the only aspect that this new moon is making in this chart is to the sign Aries with Saturn there. And Aries is all about speaking up for ourselves and being able to openly express how we feel about situations. And so I feel like that's what this moon aspect is doing with Saturn. It's really pushing us for our independence and to be heard.
Yeah, especially in family situations, which is kind of like what we've been talking about before we started as
Yeah.
well. I want to just based off of what you've said so far, the Aries is the Emperor card that I pulled,
Ah,
right?
right.
It's ruled by Aries. This is Mars energy, which rules Aries, whatever. So anyway, this issue, like when we talk about having boundaries and speaking up for ourselves with family, that can be really tricky because you know these are people we kind of want to keep in our life, and there can even be financial issues going on with family members. You can see that with another card that I pulled for this, the Bear reversed. Talks about reserves and of energy and finances. And with this Mercury retrograde happening, we can say things that we wouldn't normally want to say. Like we can kind of blurt things out. We could be reactive, with this Emperor Aries energy as well. So I definitely feel like it's one of the energies that I gotten from this Emperor was to be respectful towards yourself and towards your family, and to be a leader, and try not to punish people for their mistakes, their shortcomings, or what you're bothered by. This could be over money, over karmic situations with family. Basically, emotions and tempers could be getting in the way of being intuitive in these dynamics and sensitive. And then with this new moon in Cancer, like setting appropriate intentions to actually improve these situations instead of like, blame or kind of come across as being hard, like a hard figure, like an emperor, like a hard parent,
Mhm.
even, yeah.
And Aries, Saturn and Aries tells us, like, it reminds us that this can create energy that will make us be impulsive, be a little bit hot-headed, say things before we think.
Yeah.
And that's making that square to the moon and the sun and Mercury all together. So it's associated with communication. So one of the things that you and I were talking about earlier is when we are about to have a conversation, to set the intention for how we want it to go instead of how we expect it to go based on past experience. That's
Yeah.
very important when it comes to setting intentions. And with all these family relationships right now, we might not be happy with how those relationships have been in the past. And so moving forward, let's use this ability to manifest and set intentions in a positive way. Think about how we want these relationships, how we want these conversations to be, and tell ourselves that's how it already is, because that's what you have to do when you're setting intentions. Believe it already, even though it's not. And if you can practice that on a daily basis, and before you go into these situations, you'll start to notice a difference. I've noticed it in my own life, and sometimes I forget to do that. And especially right now, I feel like that's really important for me because there is a lot of things coming up with my family, as there is probably with everybody, because we were all being affected by this energy of the sun being in Cancer. And we've had Jupiter in Cancer for the last year influencing our family life. And now it's moved out of that, thank God. But it's probably been intense for a lot of us, and we have to move forward with whatever happened in the last year in regards with our family. We can't bury our heads in the sand, or like Cancer does, hide in the shell of the crab.
Yeah, we can't. We gotta face it with respect too. I think respect
Yeah.
is the word with the Emperor, because you know, that's how you maintain family relationships. One of my gurus has said many times that uh, the more people respect you, the more they expect from you. And who do we expect the most from? Our family. You
Mhm.
and there has to be respect in family. There has to be expectations being met. If you don't, then you become aloof within the family, and it's not really a family dynamic anymore. They're just someone you call on holidays or something like that. So
Mhm.
like this, there's a lot of healing energy pouring in with this new moon to set intentions around how can we rebuild respect in the conversations, in the dynamics. Well, we gotta check our emotions. we gotta approach these conversations with better intentions.
And I've seen a common thread in the readings that I've been doing over the last year, that a lot of people are struggling with their family relationships. A lot of them have become detached and don't have relationships with their siblings or their parents, and have been forced to set boundaries and limitations into those relationships so that they're not triggered by them daily, right? So
Yeah, and boundaries only work to like prevent worse damage, do you know? But boundaries are still a boundary. Like, you want to have freedom of expression in family dynamics. You want to have like room for joy and passion as well. So, uh, you know, I know how important boundaries are with, especially with family, but I feel like this new moon in Cancer is an opportunity to set intentions for like better times, better communication ahead, where you don't have to be like always setting boundaries with family,
even create opportunities to work through this stuff. Right now, Mercury retrograde is not the best time to do that, but I do want to point out that Mercury is going to go direct on the 23rd. So give it a little bit of grace, but maybe some of these conversations that haven't been going well over the last 3 weeks or the last year, they might go better like towards August, and you can set the intentions to have these things get resolved, because you made a very good point. Boundaries only do so much, but it doesn't cure the problem in the relationship.
Yeah.
And if that's something you really want to establish, this is a great new moon.
And it's a great new moon with the Mercury retrograde happening at the same time, because it is kind of saying like you don't have to act or speak just this yet. In fact, it's not recommended, like but you can still set those intentions and then kind of think about how you want those next conversations to feel, and how where you want how you want to set them up for success. Like, uh, really not being impulsive with family members,
Yeah. And that's what the retrogrades are all about, taking time to introspect, to really figure out where things are going wrong so that moving forward you can make change. It's
Yeah,
not necessarily about action. It's about looking at like action and what was transpiring in the past to go in a different direction.
definitely. Okay.
So to be a little bit more fun with this new moon, because that's what new moons are all about,
Mm.
we could set intentions to bring more things that are fun that involve Cancer, like creativity. Maybe there's some creative projects that we wanted to start, or hobbies or habits. One thing that I always seem to find Cancer people like to do is photography. And so maybe that's something that you wanted to do more of or evolve on. Cooking at home. Cancer loves home cooked meals, meals that remind them of what mom used to make or what they grew up with. So you might even feel more inspired to do that, or take a bit of your own unique flair and change these recipes, doing things around the house. Like, either you might even be thinking about getting a new home right now, or have been thinking about it for a while. So this is a great opportunity to set the intention to find a new home. I actually know somebody who's going to look at a home next Wednesday. So I'm wondering if this energy has a little influence on that.
Oh,
So
cool.
that'll be the day after the new moon. So I have to let them know to set intentions about that. Maybe you want to do renovations inside or outside of the home, making it feel more homey, more like a place you want to come home to. Water sports, maybe even feeling a little bit more adventurous now that we have Jupiter in Leo. The sun is going to move into Leo on the 22nd. So you might be wanting to spend time by the ocean, surfing, boating, paddleboarding, swimming, even just relaxing in the hot tub or the bathtub, and you want more of that in your life. You can set intentions around that. Maybe you want to take lessons in one of these things, or find a friend to do that.
The card that I pulled for all like the fun aspect of this new moon, it does indicate the home. It does with the Queen of Pentacles. She's the one that does all the things around the home to make it beautiful, to make it feel enjoyable. It's a nurturing card. When it talks about career, it usually talks about working from home as well, but it's very much a home energy. And with these two twos that came out, it could be about like trying to make big decisions right now. And I guess some of the advice I'm kind of feeling from this is like uh, making really big decisions right now might not be the best time, but you can make little decisions to improve how you feel in your home, what you want to do for fun. Um, like try not to overly commit right now, give it some time. That's kind of what I'm getting from these cards.
Leo can be quite impulsive too and loves to spend money, loves to be extravagant. So I feel like with those twos that you're showing is about finding balance. Make sure that you're taking care of your responsibilities that we've seen in the Emperor card, but also making time to have fun.
Yeah, exactly. We got to weigh the pros and cons to all of our financial decisions, right? Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. And I know some of the ways that I've been having fun has been spending a time, like money and time with friends. And maybe it's time, maybe you can look at spending some time, money with family or at home during this Cancer new moon. And that might bring a new level of balance into your life, working with this new moon energy.
Hmm. This new moon too, like if you are thinking about creating a new family, whether it's getting married or having children or with the family that you already have and wanting to change how that looks for you based on your own personal dreams of how you want that to look is a really good time to do that.
Yeah.
I wanted to share with you guys too that there's this yod happening. And so it's really positive energy to change these relationships, specifically to family, because it is in the sign of Cancer that it's happening. But a yod is when there's three planets at play, and there's a planet on the point, which happens to be the planet that represents relationships and marriage and love, and it's also represents luck. And so having it on the point, because you'll see this green pointy triangle, that's the yod. So the two planets on the end of that is Neptune and Pluto. And so that's harmonious relationships, but it's pushing us towards the result at the end, which is that harmonious relationship or whatever it is that we're desiring to have. Neptune is represents our desires and dreams, and it also represents spirituality, and it is currently in retrograde. It did just go retrograde um recently, I think. And so when it's in retrograde, it almost makes us not believe in our dreams or lack confidence in the fact that they can actually happen. So I think it's pushing us to move back past that, those limiting beliefs. And then Pluto, our planet that represents transformation, new opportunities, new chapters, new beginnings, is on the other aspect. So the two of these, we can use that energy to make those relationships or build those relationships that we are really wishing for.
Wow, I love that. You know what? And that's kind of like one of the treasures of this new moon energy right now. You know, some of the cards that I have on the table here really match up with that, like what we wish for in our connections. And sometimes there's a lot of stress in our relationship dynamics with this Nine of Swords, a lot of worry. Um, but it's almost as if these two blessing cards with this stress in the middle is kind of saying, like, try to set some intentions with this new moon in Cancer that you believe are going to like help your relationships and make you feel better within them, and uh you just be hopeful about these relationship dynamics, and that watch how the universe kind of brings more balance in, even after you feeling really stressed about it right now, possibly. So yeah, they're almost like the star card's about wishes and hopes and dreams, and the temperance card's about our spirit guides helping us bring it in. And yeah, so it's very beautiful, you know.
Hmm. I really like that because maybe it's about finding balance too with those relationships with the family. Like we're feeling called to spend more time with them, but we still have to make time for ourselves so that we're not like getting totally
Im-
submerged in the drama of the family.
yeah,
But we feel like we are completing our duties and responsibilities to those family members.
yeah.
That Venus on the point of this yod, though, I can't not mention this, is actually opposite the North Node in Pisces. So I feel like this is also like an opportunity to really lean into our intuition and our compassionate side, helping people or circumstances that are less fortunate where we can actually give to ourselves or give ourselves, which could lead back to the family, or it could be just other people. That Venus is in Virgo. Pluto is in Aquarius. Virgo is about helping, being of service.
Hmm. Yeah, how can we be helpful? How can we um, support each other?
And then Pluto's in the sign of Aquarius, the humanitarian sign,
Mhm.
helping without any expectations.
Yeah, there's a lot of healing energy even in this video today about these family dynamics in general. We kind of looked at it from a couple different angles, and I really feel that it made it it'll resonate with people in different ways. That's for sure, because we all have different family dynamics going on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And I guess one of the big points we're trying to make today in this video is that there's a lot of good opportunity with this new moon to set new intentions around family and watch how the vibration shifts and changes, you know?
And I do believe that this new moon is also trying to get us to set intentions to find more time for ourselves. It's
Yeah,
okay to distance ourselves from the other people in our life. Just went through the period of Gemini with the sun moving through Gemini, and it was a very social time. And it's not a coincidence that we move into Cancer now so that we can recharge and just spend time with ourselves and do those things that we like to do on our own in our own free spare time, usually at home. So it's energy that is encouraging us and working with us to be more introspective, to be more connected with ourselves. And so if you feel like you're lacking that in your life right now, whether it's from family or friends or whatever, set the intentions that you can find more time for yourself to have those peaceful moments.
alrighty. Well, is there anything,
On the water or in the tub.
pardon?
I said that could be on the water or in the tub because Cancer is that wonderful water sign.
Oh, funny. Yeah, we can do the tub manifestations
Yeah.
with floating candles and
Yeah.
essential oils.
One of my favorite things to do, and I'm a Cancer, is just to go to the ocean and just lay on my back and float and just go with the waves. It's just I love it. I should do that. I should set an intention to have that opportunity to do that.
Hmm. Yeah, we should. I'd like to get out swimming more now that it's warm.
Mm.
Alrighty, well, I think we'll leave it here, Sandy.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Don't forget to check out the Moon Mapping Academy on School. Sandy has moon circles happening over there twice a month. And if you wanted to book a personal reading with me or Sandy, the links are, you can find the links by looking at our YouTube channels, and they should be in the description box as well. And thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time.
I do want to say, if you guys want to see how these planets are actually being activated in your chart, because I did look at Jordy's and mine before we started, it's quite ironic how it relates to what's happening. I don't know if ironic's the right word, but it relates to our lives right now. So it would just give you the validation of what you've been dreaming about is the universe is working with you to make that happen. And it's a lot of fun to see how those planets will play out. So
it is a lot of fun.
just send us a message if you're interested in getting a personalized reading. All right. Happy mooning.
See you.